It was a quiet morning in Paris, and Ibrahim Traoré walked into the hotel lobby, a slight smile on his face, his eyes burning with determination. He had a mission, one that would change not only his life but the lives of those who'd once judged him. Introduction and setup. Ibrahim Traoré stood in the doorway of the five-star hotel, the scent of fresh coffee and croissants mixing with the faint trace of perfume lingering in the air. The walls were adorned with gold-framed paintings, a testament to wealth and opulence. It felt foreign to him, this space of privilege, but it was about to become his. The day before, Ibrahim had come in for a simple coffee, tired from his long travels, hoping for a brief respite. His shoes were scuffed from a lifetime of battles, his clothes worn yet dignified. As he approached the counter, a woman behind it looked at him with an air of indifference. Her eyes were cold, dismissive. Ibrahim smiled, but it was met with a sharp sneer. "Is there a problem?" he asked, the words slipping from his lips in a calm, composed manner, even as the sting of her gaze cut deeper than any blade. The woman looked him up and down before shaking her head. No problem," she muttered, not bothering to make eye contact. Ibrahim waited, but she continued to ignore him, serving the person behind him. The silence hung thick in the air, the weight of racism making his heart heavy. He didn't say another word. He left without a drink, his pride bruised but not broken. The next day Ibrahim returned, his resolve stronger than ever. He wasn't the same man who had walked out the day before. No, this time, he was someone different. A man with purpose. A man with power. Conflict or challenge introduced. When Ibrahim stepped into the lobby again, the hotel seemed unchanged. The luxurious marble floors, the gleaming chandeliers above, everything appeared the same. But Ibrahim was different. This time, he wasn't a guest. He wasn't the man who had been rejected. He was a force, a presence that no one could ignore. The woman from the day before, the one who had turned him away, looked up as he approached the counter. Her eyes widened in surprise as she recognized him, but she said nothing. She tried to avoid his gaze, but Ibrahim's calm, unwavering stare locked with hers. "Good morning," he said softly, his voice carrying authority she couldn't ignore. She hesitated before answering. "Good morning, sir. Can I help you?" Ibrahim gave her a slight nod, his lips curling into a small but knowing smile. "I'm here to see the manager." There was a brief pause, and the woman turned to call someone over, her discomfort palpable. But what she didn't know was that Ibrahim wasn't just here for a conversation. He wasn't here to ask for anything. He was here to claim what was rightfully his. The manager arrived moments later, looking puzzled by the visitor. Ibrahim stood tall, his posture exuding quiet confidence. "I'm Ibrahim Traoré," he said, his voice steady, "and I'm here to take over." The manager, a man in his late 40s with a slick haircut and a suit that screamed power, laughed, nervously. "Take over what?" Ibrahim's gaze never wavered. "This hotel. I'm your new manager." The manager's laughter faltered as he realized this wasn't a joke. Ibrahim's presence was commanding. The woman behind the counter still stood frozen, unsure of what was unfolding. Midpoint revelation or twist. It wasn't until later that day, when Ibrahim was behind the desk, overseeing the operations of the hotel, that the true weight of his transformation became clear. Word had spread that the hotel's new manager had come from humble beginnings, that he was a man of resilience and integrity. The staff, who had once snubbed him, now watched in awe as Ibrahim commanded respect. He had no titles to boast of, no wealth to flaunt. His power came from something deeper, something that no amount of money could buy. As the day wore on, Ibrahim had the chance to speak with the woman from the counter. She approached him hesitantly, her eyes avoiding his, guilt and shame weighing heavily on her. I'm sorry," she stammered, her voice faltering as she struggled to meet his eyes. Ibrahim paused for a moment, the sound of the bustling hotel fading around them. "You don't owe me an apology," he said softly, but his words carried weight. You owe yourself one." He turned away, not in anger but in quiet resignation. His life had never been about revenge. It had always been about rising above. Ibrahim had learned that true power didn't lie in seeking retribution. It lay in transformation. Climax. Emotional breakthrough. That night, Ibrahim sat in his office, the glow of the desk lamp casting long shadows against the walls. He could hear the sounds of the hotel below, the laughter, the clinking of glasses, the soft murmur of conversations. For a brief moment, he thought back to the rejection he had felt the day before, but the sting was gone now. He looked at the mirror across from him, the reflection of the man who had once walked through these halls in quiet desperation, the man who had been judged by the color of his skin, the man who had been overlooked, dismissed, and ignored. And yet, here he was, sitting at the top, the one who had transformed the very space that had tried to break him. In that quiet moment, he understood something deeper. He understood that true redemption was not in the applause of others. It was in the ability to forgive, to heal, and to rise again. Resolution and quiet closure. The next morning, the hotel staff gathered for their usual briefing. They had expected the same old routine, the same old faces. But today was different. Today they would see something they hadn't seen before. A new man, one who had risen from the ashes of their prejudice and come back not for revenge, but for something far greater, justice. As Ibrahim walked through the lobby, he nodded to the staff, his eyes meeting the woman's once again. This time, she smiled at him. It wasn't a forced smile or one of guilt. It was a smile of understanding, of respect. Ibrahim's journey wasn't just about him. It was about every person who had ever been rejected, every person who had been looked down upon. It was a journey of forgiveness, strength, and the quiet power of transformation. As the sun began to rise over Paris, casting a soft glow through the hotel windows, Ibrahim stood at the front desk looking out over the city. He had come full circle, from being rejected to becoming the very thing they had all underestimated. He had returned as their manager, not to claim victory, but to show them what it truly meant to be a leader. Call to action for YouTube. If this story touched your heart, consider subscribing for more inspiring tales of hope, healing, and unexpected kindness. Hit the like button and share this with someone who needs it today. Thank you for watching, and remember, true power lies not in what we can take, but in what we can give.